Hi Kunal. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for your time with InsightConvey. Hope you are doing good. How
Yeah,
are you, Kunal?
thank for having me here, and I'm doing good. Really looking forward to today's session.
I saw your journey, and I have some questions. I want to really. I'm curious to know about CredFlow and how you are helping MSMEs in India, especially those who are facing struggles in their initial stage in managing their cash flow, creditors, debtors, and all. So I have some questions. So I would like to starting with what motivates you to start CredFlow, and how has the journey been so far?
Sure, Abhishek. So a little bit of my personal background. So I largely come from a MSME background. My father, my uncles, all have been running businesses, right? So I understand how that works. What kind of challenges they used to face. So these are pretty much our dinner conversations. So I always used to wonder why. I mean, there are so many challenges that these businesses face, and can I do something about for it? I got into IIT Delhi. Even in college, I was doing multiple things around entrepreneurship, and immediately after, basically started a B2B aggregation platform. So, CredFlows is essentially my second venture. Before that, I had started a B2B raw material aggregation platform called Robble, wherein we were supplying raw materials like chemicals, APIs, excipients to cosmetic and pharma manufacturers. Now, while doing that, I realized this larger problem statement around cash flow management, because we ourselves used to face that, right? Because we used to sell to our customers on credit. Collecting money on time from debtors became a big pain point. Working capital overall became the bottleneck for our growth, because we were always limited by how much we can give on credit, right? I could say, for example, I have 1 crore rupees as my working capital. I can only do sales wherein my receivables is that much, right? So that becomes the rate determining step for this kind of a business. So that was another problem statement, and all of it came together. I mean, a lot of insights. I mean, why credit started, because I was tying up with a lot of fintech and BFCs back then to make our purchases financed, right? To basically make us working capital light. While doing that, I realized that cash flow based financing as a solution doesn't exist much in India. Account receivable is a big pain point for most of the MSMEs. We used to face that problem. Our customers used to face the problem. Our vendors used to face the problem. So it's a problem statement across the supply chain. So all of this came together, and that's how CredFlow happened. The core insight was that we will build a one stack, one platform for cash flow
Yes.
management for business. That would include a SaaS platform to help them manage their collections, a tool to basically help them understand whom to give credit on, whom not to give on, and basically augment all of this by financial services like lending to these customers and treasury solutions for the same segment. So that is how all of it came together.
Okay. So it means you are using some advanced technologies to know the behavior of their customer on time they are making payments or not. What is their past trend on the payments?
Yeah, so with time, what has happened actually is that today we have almost half of India's GST registered businesses, roughly
Great.
about 5 to 6 million businesses who've done transactions with some of our users. Now, with that, what has happened is that we've created our own trade score, right? I mean, that's based on certain models, ML models and AI models that we've created in house. And leveraging all of that, we've created pretty much how, for example, say TransUnion and other bureaus give ratings to every individual and every business for their repayment behavior to financial lenders. We've
Okay.
created a similar trade score for every business out there for their trade liabilities. So
Okay.
it's another app we've launched called Kuberex. So there we've given, I mean, you can input anyone's GST number and see with how they repay their vendors and what their credit worthiness, etc. is. So that has allowed us to basically give us very specific insight to businesses on whom they should sell on credit and whom not to, and
Right.
how much.
Reliability means. Oh,
Correct.
nice. I want to know that what were some of the challenges you faced while building GridFlow, and how did your interest in new technologies help you to overcome them?
Yeah, so I mean, it was a hard journey. I was just 1 year out of college when I started CredFlow. I was the solo founder. So a lot of challenges we used to face initially. I mean, first, obviously, being a non-tech founder myself, I had to go out and find someone who can build the product out for us. I am a product guy, but I uh, don't code myself, right? So that was the first problem: how to build out our first version of the product. Then, basically, another big conception that most of the people have is that MSMEs are slow adopters of technology, right? And we wanted to validate ourselves before actually building out a product. So we went out and built an MVP. We gave it to few customers and we validated that. So that was another piece, right? I mean, getting our own doubts solved, whether even this is a required solution. So I mean, how I look at businesses, whether the solution that we are giving, is it a vitamin or is it a painkiller? Unless
Hmm.
it's a painkiller, it doesn't make sense to build that as a long term business, right? So I mean, that was the key insight that we got over time, that we were actually giving a painkiller to these businesses. So that was another thing. Then over time, as we grew, right, a lot of scaling problems as well, challenges that we faced around technology as well, because we are a very very data heavy platform. As I mentioned, we have almost half of India's GST businesses transactions on our platform. Over $500 billion of invoices have been captured on the platform in the last 3 years. So that I mean, net basically leads to a solution where you need a very scalable technology architecture, because we did not have any tech founder. So we basically had to uh, build everything from scratch. We had to iterate on those things, right? So these were few challenges that we faced, and eventually were able to overcome.
Oh, nice. So my next question is, how does integrating with accounting software like Tally, well-known software in the industry, or Busy RP, make cloud credit flow more useful?
So essentially, before that, I'll explain the ICP that we cater to and the customer segment that we help solve this problem for. So our customers are essentially businesses in the turnover range of 2 crores to 200, 300 crores, right? So these are mostly your uh, SMEs, not micro businesses, but people who have done business for some time. They are basically more or less traditional businesses. They've been supplying goods on credit to their customers. These are mostly your distributor, manufacturers, and traders. And the problem that they face is that there is a lot of uh, challenges around. Uh, in fact, getting insights itself in on who owes them how much, what is the overdue of what customer, following up, right? Having that information shared across internally. Now, because we are integrated with their existing ERP, right? So we do not have to make them change their entire accounting stack, which is a very big sort of a problem for these accountants, right? Who essentially operate these accounting softwares, right? Um, Tally, Busy, all these softwares all have almost built a muscle memory in the minds of these accountants, right? And that's a big achievement that they've been able to crack. So our thought process from day one was that we don't want to replace these platforms at all. We want to augment them. We want to build a solution on top of it, so that there is no migration hassle for these businesses. There is no additional effort to operate our platform. So that is why that integration really helps us, right? It's just a plug and play that you just click a button, your data is synced, and you can start operating from day one itself.
So the main source of data is Tally, and we are getting the data from them, and we are doing our own analytics and displaying the data to the user, right?
Correct. So our value proposition for these businesses is that you get a lot of insights on the platform. We automate your communications to your customer, and basically you get an intelligent, easy to use on the go app and web app, wherein you can access everything.
Okay, got it. So I have one question, like Tally and all these tools are like quite technical. We have to do some trainings and all. So how user friendly is CredFlow as compared to other tools? And like, is there any specific knowledge we have to acquire to operate all these tools?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a self-serve platform. A good number of users essentially just download our app and start using it without requiring any training or information from our end. Net. It's a pretty much self-help platform. Doesn't require any technical skills or any know-how or any sort of understanding. It's just you can see the data and you can understand what it means.
Oh, means it's intuitive and we can learn by ourselves. Okay.
Correct.
Oh, nice. So my next question is, what key trends in software as a service, means SaaS, do you think will influence the future of cash flow management?
So I think the world is essentially being, so there is this common phrase that software is eating the world, right? I think that is pretty much true for almost all the industries, and cash flow management itself is being one part of it. So traditionally most of the things used to run on pen and paper or in Excel sheets, wherein people used to manage their cash flows on Excel. Now it is moving towards the direction wherein softwares like ours, and I mean there are other platforms across the world which are essentially automating most of this. So that is something which is being used by a lot of businesses today. Basically technologies evolve, so more and more of the insights that we basically convey, right, it's moving away from a algorithm driven towards a machine learning AI driven models, right? So that's one key secular trend that is going to happen, and over time these all these dashboards are going to become more intelligent and give more and more insights, right? So I think that's one key change that is going to happen in the software industry for this space.
Oh, nice. So, how does CredFlow use advanced technology like real-time analysis to give small businesses helpful insights?
So we have at the back end, basically there is a lot of work that happens on the technology piece. For example, to give those insights, first of all, we have to do an auto recon of invoices with payments so that you get a real and right picture of what actual invoices are overdue. So we do a proper allocation of those. Then basically we apply an algorithm to figure out what's the credit worthiness of what customers. We apply some algorithms and models to understand which invoices are highly risky, which customers are highly risky, and whom do you need to follow up more intelligently for. Then basically what are the high risk customers, low risk customers, all of that happens. What are sort of a probability to convert into bad debt, so all of that happens. Then basically to send automated reminders to customers and to share communication, right? Because the amount of communication that is flowing through our platform is huge, right? About 3 to 4 million communications go out daily, right? So it's and all of it goes at the same time. So our
Right.
technology stack also has to be built that way, that it scales, within 1 hour it can send out so many sort of communications to customers. So all of these pieces come together, and that is those are certain engineering problems we've solved for, that allow us to solve this problem for customers.
Oh, nice. So, what new technologies do you think will impact the way small businesses manage their cash flow in future?
So as I mentioned, in terms of insights and in terms of what the customer sees, right, a lot of that is moving away from an algorithm based to a model based machine learning AI driven models. So that is one change that is going to happen. Second is basically more and more of these communications are going to become intelligent, right? It has to become personalized, and in terms of basically personalized in the sense that the uh, communication which is going out to the customer is non-standard, right? It is based on what the history between the two people have been and how the transactions have happened, so that it gives more context to the customer and the effectiveness of that communication is better. So that's another important change that is going to happen over time. Then in terms of, for example, projected cash flows, right,
Right.
and giving a right picture of what actual receivables you're going to receive and what actual payables you have to do, so that you can actually plan them out over time and understand and prioritize your own cash flows. So these are some
Right.
of the changes that are going to happen, and all of it is going to be driven by smart models working at the back end.
Oh, nice. Although my next question, I got that answer partially, but I want to learn more from you. How is CredFlow different from other cash flow management tools available in the market?
So pretty much I will say that in the Indian space, there were very few platforms that were actually operating. So two or three things that we've cracked very, very well. One is basically a very deep integration with their existing ERP. It's a plug and play. A lot of these solutions require a lot of setup time, a lot of integration, a lot of challenges, right? And at a very, very low nominal cost for these businesses. So that's one piece. But more important than that, on the product side, I think the kind of insights and analytics we've cracked and are able to give these customers, those are very, very deep, and help these businesses actually manage their cash flows in a much better way. So for example, our aging report at the back end, we do an auto recon, we give them the right picture in terms of aging, they can send communication from one platform itself. So all of
Right.
that basically is something that we were the pioneers in. Then for example, um, personalizing communication basis their past history. That is again something that we've worked upon and we've really cracked. So see, then I mean their projected cash flows, right? So again something that we've uh, built upon over time, and is very useful for businesses to understand where they're going to be cash deficit and cash rich in the future. So these are some of the things that we've differentiated ourselves upon.
Oh, nice, great. So, you mentioned very well, all these things. So, I would like to know, like, what is the next for CredFlow? Are there any new features or expansion you are excited about?
Yeah, so I think one direction that we are, as a company, we're moving towards is we are basically launching more and more of these financial services products. So we launched lending last year. We are basically seeing very, very good traction there. We are scaling that. So we've got two or three, two products there. I mean, one is a line of credit product, and the other is a term loan that we're offering to our customers basis their transactions on the platform. Then second is we've launched. I mentioned this app called Kuberex, which we launched out, uh, wherein you can see the trade score of all the businesses. Third, another platform we've launched out is Kuberex Commerce. That's just, I mean, that's in more on is in stealth mode, more in beta mode with few very early customers. Wherein we have created our own commerce platform built again on top of our existing customers on CredFlow, wherein they can launch their own website. They can search for any products that they want to source and basically get the right vendors. So all of those things they can get on one platform. So that's another platform which we are launching out. So these are some of the things that we as a company are working on and seeing very good early traction on.
Okay, okay. Kunal, I want to know, we are offering this service across Pan India first, and second, would like to know how many active users we have on monthly basis.
So yeah, so we have users all across India. I mean, some of the states are more dominant simply because they have more SMEs, right? For example, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Delhi, NCR, UP. Uh, right, there is less penetration. West Bengal is fairly large, but other eastern states are slightly lesser. Uh, to answer your other question, basically, uh, I mean, our monthly active users is about 95,000 to 1 lakh odd, and essentially we have, as a company till date we have about 1.6 lakh businesses which have integrated their tally with us and have used our platform at some point in time.
So means you are talking about individual organizations.
Correct.
If we are saying we have 95 to 1 lakh active users per month, right? Oh, nice.
Correct.
So my last question, like, what do you think are the most important qualities an entrepreneur needs to succeed in today's fast changing world?
I think one is basically the ability to understand and identify if your problem statement that you're solving for is the right problem statement to solve for. And one getting criteria I look at is basically whether that problem is large enough for a large customer base that they would want to go out of their way and get a solution for. So that's one filter. Second is basically perseverance. I think it is very, very important. So entrepreneurship is hard, right? As much as we basically might glorify it in media, but it is a very, very hard journey to embark upon, and it's a lonely journey, right? So you need to judge yourself whether you are in it for the long term, for 10 years at least, and basically want to build out something that is going to be of value for customers, which will require you to make your own sacrifices. So that's another very key important piece that an entrepreneur needs to possess. Third is basically, I mean, ability to learn, right? So it is nowhere is ever is it going to be a scenario wherein you would already know everything, right? You will need to adapt very, very quickly and learn very, very quickly. So these are, I mean, three or four things that I feel are very important in an entrepreneur. And rest everything, I mean, if these qualities you possess, everything else is coachable and learnable. So these things are very, very important.
We have to be focused while we are doing, like, going on some journey. So we have to focus, understand our, like, customers need their pain areas, like putting ourselves in customer shoes to understand
Correct.
their problem. Okay, Kunal, thank you so much for your time. It was really nice interacting with you.